representing two eras because we don't know where we're going. I mean, we know where we're going, but we could be going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron, tell us where we're going today.
We're going 1933. We're going to the dawn of the All-Star Game as we know it. The first game there in 1933 wasn't necessarily or wasn't finalized that it was going to be an annual event, but it became so popular that they did that with that. So the first one occurred 1933 on this day, July 6th, at Comiskey Park in Chicago. And the All-Star Game is kind of interesting because they had, prior to this All-Star Game, they had All-Star Games, if you will, played as exhibitions, but not like just as kind of like a fan thing necessarily to begin with. Adam, they had these before, but can you tell me what the original purpose of the All-Star Games were?
I don't know for sure, but I'm going to guess that it was to supplement player salaries, especially the guys who were not superstars, because they typically had to go work afterward.
Yeah, that's a good thought. The answer is actually that they would play these. They put these games, and they would gather the receipts and the payments, and they would actually use them to raise money for deceased or disabled baseball players. So one of the most famous ones was Addie Joss had passed away, and they played an All-Star game, and they used the proceeds from the gate receipts, gave to Addie's family to help take care of their family after he passed.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice little piece of info there. Well, so this became wildly popular for fans, but there were three owners who were not on board at the beginning. The owners of the Braves, Giants, and Cardinals. And through discussion, an agreement was reached. But what was one of the deals that was made to reach an agreement?
I don't really know, and this kind of doesn't make sense because two of these teams are in the Northeast, St. Louis is in the Midwest. But I'm going to say that for whatever reason, they just decided that they would play if they played in Chicago.
Okay. Well, you're on the right track as far as location, but it was actually one of the agreements with the Cardinals in particular was that at some point the game would get played in St. Louis and then move around in other cities as well, so they could benefit from the fans coming to town, just like it is now. It's a big deal.
Yeah, it makes a lot. I mean, you get a lot of a little economic boost.
Yeah.
While you're there. So indeed. All right. So, Babe Ruth was a big name in this in this particular game. So Babe Ruth hit a 2-run homer, made a catch up against the fence. Some say he robbed a home run. It's not really that clear. But Babe Ruth was not the only Hall of Famer to play in this game. In fact, Adam, there were, including players, coaches, and umpires, there were 48 individuals that were, directly involved in the gameplay itself. How many of those individuals are now in the Hall of Fame?
I got to get it right on.
Oh yeah, we got random number generators.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I figured, that's a tough one.
I know.
So I'm gonna go here. We're going 0 to 3, and I hit my number. And your number you got to get it within is 2. So it's still a challenge, but let's see what we can get.
Okay. Well, there were a lot of great players at this time, and even the umpires and managers were all-time greats too. So I'm going to go on the high end. I'm going to say 40.
So 40 is a little bit of an overshoot there. So the correct number is 29. 29.
Okay.
So yeah.
Right. Well, an interesting little quirk about this game, this first All-Star game as well, is that special accommodations needed to be made for the baseball that would be used, or the balls, I guess, that would be used during the game. What accommodation needed to be made?
So I was reading about this. I'm trying to remember now. I'm going to say, for whatever reason, I'm thinking that during this time, the American League and the National League, which just blows my mind, use different baseballs. So I'm going to say that they had to make accommodation for the fact that they use different baseballs.
That's absolutely correct. They use like different thickness of covering on the outside of the ball, and one was bouncier and one was a little more dead. And so they played 4.5 innings with one ball and then switched it to the other ball. And before the game, they allowed extra practice time so players could get used to using the other league's ball.
I mean,
Wild.
it's insane to think about because you think about like all the different conversations you've had about like, is this year's ball's juiced and this year's ball is deader, and like all these conversations about that, and the fact that you had, we measure stats from those eras, and now we know that they have two different baseballs.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
Well, let's hop
So,
back in the time machine, come back to 2023, where the baseballs are all the same size.
mhm.
And thanks a lot for joining us, folks. Hope you had a cup of coffee. You
Yep.
learned something today on Throwback Thursday.
Yeah, this one was a fun one to do. If you got comments you want to add, put them in below. And find us on Twitter. Tweet us at Baseball Brewhaha. Check out the score below. Aaron has taken the lead 4-3. We're heading into the 5th inning tomorrow. Join us. More trivia coming at you. See you then.